I came from nothing. I know what it's like to be homeless even when you're a child. Around 11, the bills were just overwhelming my mom, so I had to go find ways to help make money. Cleaning apartments, babysitting, whatever it was. I even had a job. My little sister, she's 8 years younger than me, and she was born very, very ill. And so at a very early age, I decided, I'm gonna help people. I'm gonna help other people's sisters survive. I created the Vital Reset, and the Vital Reset allows me to offer functional medicine, introducing patients to health and wellness and restoring function to the body versus traditional medicine, which is symptom and disease management. Power for me is never losing sight of your purpose. Nothing is stopping me. I'm going to find a way to make it happen. No excuses. My name is Jessica Stangenwald. I am a woman in power.
Jessica Stangenwald, Women in Power.
I am Jessica Stangenwald. I am from Hurst, Texas, and I currently work at the You Medical Infusion Clinic where I practice functional medicine. I'm both a chiropractor and a family nurse practitioner, and we focus on functional medicine, introducing patients to health and wellness and restoring function to the body versus traditional medicine, which is symptom and disease management.
Jessica's story begins in poverty on the Texas-Mexico border, where homelessness and the responsibility of caring for her chronically ill sister forged a relentless determination and an early call to heal.
My parents got divorced when I was young, and so just having a single mom with 2 children to take care of, it was like, oh, we lost our house. Back in the day, you had to have an address and a home to be able to get help. So it wasn't unusual to have to walk to the grocery store, hope that the person who was offering you a ride down there on the border of Texas and Mexico wasn't going to kidnap you or something crazy. So yeah, definitely it was crazy and very humbling as a child to be like, okay, well, we have just enough change to get a McDonald's hamburger and share with my little sister. And then my mom just want to eat. So definitely know what it's like to have come from nothing. But my mom always taught us girls that no matter how much money we have or we don't have, it doesn't matter. You must always have your manners. You must always be clean. You must always be presentable. So she would never make it look like we didn't have a place to stay and the church had to help us. And we lived finally in a teeny little RV. Like she would always just make it like, okay, we're good. We'll get by and figure it out. I knew it wasn't how everybody else was, but you do what you have to do. Coming from nothing definitely had an impact on me because people assume like, oh, you're a doctor, you're a white girl, you must have always been, rich and must have had all this. And I'm like, actually not. It's like, if you knew what I came from, it's not what most people even have to experience. My little sister, she's 8 years younger than me, and she was born very, very ill from the moment she was born. And she's just very sick. Nobody ever had any answers. She was in and out of the hospital. And so at a very early age, I decided I'm going to help people. I'm going to help other people's sisters survive. So I started out wanting to be a pediatrician, always with the passion to help people, help them have a better quality of health and life. So my stepdad and my mom divorced when I was maybe 9, 10 years old. And then that's when it really became rough because we lost our home that we had. My mom couldn't afford to pay for the brand new home in the Rio Grande Valley, South Texas. So that was a big shift and stress and grow up real quick because it was take responsibility to help my mom, help my sister, take care of stuff, watch out for them. So definitely matured me very quickly.
Driven by necessity, Jessica's entrepreneurial spirit ignited, funding her education and survival through a series of hustles that paved her way into the medical field.
Well, around in between 11, 12, that age, the bills were just overwhelming my mom just too much. So I had to go find ways to help make money. I remember making paper doll houses and selling these things for 50 cents. and to friends who would buy them. And I remember buying a bag of candy and taking it to school and like, okay, I can buy a bag of candy for $2. I can sell each piece, for 5 cents and have this profit. So I started selling candy and seeing very quickly I could make money. And when my mom needed help paying the bills, it was like, okay, I got to find something else. So I made my own flyers and I started cleaning apartments in the apartment complex. And I even had a job. It was so crazy. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how this was allowed back in the days. They would pick us up in this van, like the kidnapper vans, and we would be driving around and they would just drop us off at these neighborhoods with these 5-gallon, 20-gallon totes, and they'd be full of candy. And we'd have to go knock on doors, door to door. Every single box I sold, I'd get paid $1. Oh gosh, this is back in the day when we didn't have cell phones or anything. I had no idea where they dropped me off at. I just knew I got paid and it was going to help my mom. So I didn't want the electricity to, be turned off. So, oh no, from a very, very early age, I just hustled it every way possible. I became like the adult in the family, if you could imagine. I was helping pay the bills, helping take care of my mom. And I got my acceptance letter into University of Dallas in Irving. It's a private Catholic school, and they require that you live on campus your first 2 years. Well, we lived in Irving, so my mom was like, no, who's going to help me pay all the bills and take care of your sister and take care of the house? And I was like, I don't know, Mom, because I'm going to be a doctor. And so we argued about it. And then, well, she wasn't very happy with me. So she sent me to bed. And then at 1 o'clock in the morning, she decided that if I thought I was such a big girl, I could just move out. So that was January 21st. It was pretty cold outside. 1 o'clock in the morning, she said, get your stuff. So collected my backpack. It was by the door, thankfully, because in my mind, it was like, she's kicking me out. I'm free. Because I was never that kid, even though, believing me, it crossed my mind many times, like I could just run away. Well, I never did because I was just a good kid. But it was like, she set me free, and I was like, I'm not coming back. So I don't know, I found a quarter or something, and I called my boss, and she knew that I didn't have a good relationship with my mom. And she came and picked me up, and then I went to stay with a coworker. Now, when you're 17, you can't get your own bank account. You can't do. So I stayed with a coworker, and not the best living conditions at all, but I didn't care if I woke up and there was a roach climbing on me. Whatever it was, it had to be better than the abuse that I had just dealt with. Well, as I said, since I was 7, 8 years old, I knew I wanted to be a doctor. So doctors usually go to school and get biology degrees. So I was on that path as soon as I graduated high school, straight into college. I actually started out double major biology mathematics, but that's very challenging to have double majors. So I dropped the mathematics and realized, well, the biology is much more important given what I want to do. So continued pursuing that and got a bachelor's of science in biology in 4 years, and then 2 years later a master's of science. And at that point, I was ready to go to medical school to be a pediatrician. I met a chiropractor, and he said, well, the body is a self-healing organism. You don't have a deficiency in whatever pharmaceutical. You have to see what the malfunction is. Light bulb just went off. So I immediately withdrew my applications and decided to apply to chiropractic school, where I went to become a chiropractor.
A personal crisis with her mother's cancer became the catalyst, pushing Jessica to further her education and pioneer a new brand of healthcare focused on root cause healing.
So I became a chiropractor, and then I came out of school and wanted to open my own practice. I found somebody who was selling a little gym, and a gym, health, wellness, chiropractic just made sense, So I purchased this little gym, and then my mom, I find out that she has cancer. And even though my mom and I didn't have a great relationship, as you heard from before, I still value that my mother gave me life, and I will just accept that she did the best she could do. And so for me, I had to take care of her. So I took her into my home, and I happened to have to go out of town for a training seminar, and she didn't want to be at the house by herself, so she asked the doctor to put her to the hospital so that way they could help her, because she was getting very frail with the cancer. So they took her to the hospital, and of course I show up to pick her up when I get back in town, and I look at the trash can and I see those little cups of ice cream, they have at the hospital, and Cokes and Doritos, and I was just devastated. I was like, oh gosh, why are you eating this? And she just straight up told me, well, you don't know because you're just a chiropractor, and my oncologist said I could have whatever I want. So I finally asked her, who wants this more, you or me? Like, I can't try to save you if you don't want to save yourself, but you really can't eat this stuff. Then she just said, I'm fine. So I took that as like she was at peace and okay, and I couldn't keep battling her. But that drove like this stronger passion to like help people, make sure that they knew your dietary choices, your nutrition, everything going on in your health is going to affect you. And if you want help, I will help you, but I'll never battle anybody. So that just gave me that drive and passion to like help others. But as a chiropractor, just like my own mother said, you're just a chiropractor. Little did she realize all the knowledge that chiropractors have about function and physiology. I said, well, if my own mother doesn't even believe that I know what I'm talking about, I'm going to have to go back to school. I was pregnant with my third daughter, started school again, and got a bachelor's and master's in nursing, where I became a family nurse practitioner. I took the chiropractic office and converted it into the new You Medical and Infusion Clinic, which is the functional medicine office. The new You Medical and Infusion Clinic was the clinic that I started after I became a functional medicine family nurse practitioner. It's an IV infusion clinic, and we focus on helping restore function to the body versus traditional medicine of symptom and disease management. And so that opened 11 years ago. And for 11 years, I have regularly heard, you need a clinic here, you need a clinic there. And, who do you know here? Well, I don't know people because there's not a lot of us who do functional medicine. So after you hear something enough repeatedly from patients and you see that patients are actually flying in, you start going, okay, I need a solution for this. And from that is where the Vital Reset came. And so the Vital Reset is for functional medicine, but for everybody in the United States. So health coaching, where you can have blood work, analysis, food sensitivity testing, find out your hormones, find out what you should be eating, shouldn't be eating, nutrition, etc., and have guidance. This allows you to be empowered to make an informed decision on making changes about your own health care. So that way it puts you in control. And through the Vital Reset being a virtual office, it allows me to take care of everybody. And so that's what we do with the Vital Reset. Well, at the new You Medical and Infusion Clinic, and then the Vital Reset. So that way we can help people all over the United States. So that's what we do and the goal and purpose of it. When I first opened the clinic, it really wasn't a struggle for me because, I was trained and educated, and so I knew what to do, and I'm a people person and I want to take care of people. So it's like I invite them in and take care of them like they're my family. So it's definitely not a 5-minute visit. It's more like 45 minutes to an hour, getting to know them, their health problems or health concerns. When I see their reviews and you see how their life changes and they didn't realize, oh, I really can get pregnant after 12 years of not being able to get pregnant, or this health problem really can go away, or now I'm cancer free, or whatever the ailment may be, is really just each patient, they leave an impact upon me because I treat them like they're my family because I know them so well. It's like you don't just help them get better, like you're part of the journey as well. So you experience that with them, like you're part of their stories. And so for me, it was just like you become part of people's life, their health, their stories. And so it's super personal for me.
That constant demand sparked a search for a name, an identity to match a mission growing beyond clinic walls.
It was like they wanted me everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to come up with a solution. And that's where I really started thinking, opportunity is everywhere. It's just, you have to see it. And something opened my mind. I don't remember which instance, which patient finally triggered me to go, okay, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
Well, about a year ago, I had cancer, and I had talked to several people who had had very good luck after cancer, instead of going through chemotherapy, going through more of a positive experience. And so I was looking for someone who could do the IV treatments, more immunotherapy type thing. And as I looked around through various internet and asked them for people, I came across Dr. Jessica, and came in and started a meeting with her. And she went through the blood test and went through analyzing everything. And it was really a pretty quick process. She recommended a procedure that we start on, and I started going 4 days a week to have various infusions. And really within a few months, I saw a tremendous improvement in all my blood tests.
I have to open it, have to be available. How can I do this? And it was like, well, the internet, technology. And that's where I started thinking, what should the business be called? This is a reset. Most people have been going on, not thinking really about their health if they haven't had any health problems yet. What do we call it? What is this going to be inspired by? And it's like, oh, well, it's really a reset. And this is vital. This is vital to your health, vital to your future, your quality of life, your quality of health. So it's like, it's vital that you learn how to take care of your body.
I first heard about you. I met Jessica years back, and so I knew what she did, and I trusted what she did, and I had this suspicious call, and it came up. I called Jessica. She's done wonderful treatments for us.
When I review labs with patients, 100% of them has said, I've never had my labs explained to me this way. I didn't know any of this stuff. And so the goal is just to change that through the Vital Reset and give you guidance and control of your own health, because I can't make the decisions for you. But that way it puts you in control. You know exactly what to do, and you can decide how healthy you want to be. So that's where the Vital Reset comes in, as we guide you so you're empowered and can take control of your health. And then we check every quarter, and you can see. The great thing is 3 months later, you see, oh gosh, my efforts to change my food, to change my nutrition, to change my diet, increase my water, whatever the recommendations are based on your labs. You can see that not only you're feeling better, symptoms are decreasing, but you can see your labs correcting. And that's super rewarding, because then it's like, well, you did that.
When a global pandemic threatened her medical practice, a survival instinct forged in childhood erupted into a new kind of entrepreneurship.
Well, COVID struck, and with that, it affected gyms, which I owned 3 Anytime Fitnesses. It affected medical offices. We all had to close. So all this stuff is closed up, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is my livelihood. What am I going to do? So my gyms were forced to close up, for the 3 months. And when 3 months opened back up and we were able to go back to work, nobody wanted to work. I had to permanently close 2 of my gyms. My medical office thankfully survived. My patients couldn't wait to get back in the door and, get scheduled. So that was okay. But also very tough times, because mind you, a lot of my patients had been laid off, less hours, lost their jobs. So the struggle to pay to come into the office was very challenging, and it ignited this survival mode. So I looked around and I saw, okay, food and housing, that doesn't seem to shut down. It'll always be open. So then I created another business. So I opened up a taco truck called Me and More Tacos. And then I bought my first little fix it, flip it house and started remodeling that. And everybody needs a place to stay. So houses and food, that's where it is. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, if you've got to make tortillas, you got to do what you got to do.
Jessica's core philosophy, forged in adversity, provides direct, actionable advice for anyone striving to overcome their own obstacles.
When someone comes into my office seeking functional medicine guidance or health coaching, as it'll be for the Vital Reset, the biggest thing that I would tell them is we need to start with some labs. We need to see, where is your base? What are you doing? What does your diet look like? And find out food sensitivities, and then go from there. So based on your labs, I can then give you guidance on, okay, these are the foods to eat, not to eat. This is the amount of water to drink. This is the supplements to take. But ultimately, it comes down to this is up to you. You have to do it. So I can't make you not eat those foods or take the supplements. I can't make you do that. So it's really coaching. It's guidance. I'm giving you the guidance to empower you to make an informed decision about your health care. So many times with symptom and disease management, it's just, oh, here's your diagnosis, here's your drug, and that's all you know about it. That's it. You're at the mercy of them to tell you whatever the next move is. So in my office or my virtual clinic, the Vital Reset, we empower you to make an informed decision about your health care. And then you can decide, do you want to do that? Do you not want to do that? Well, most patients, when they come to me, they do want to do that. They follow my recommendations. So that would be the ultimate solution, is just follow what I say, please. And then we'll check back in 3 months, and then you'll see where your efforts pay off, because it does take work. It's not just one simple pill. It's no, it takes effort. And so you've got to be willing to make those changes. And the great thing is it's not years. It doesn't take years to see results. Literally 3 months later, you're going to notice results, not only in how you feel, but also those things that you can't feel. You have to remember that your healthcare is not just what you can feel. So you'll hear people say, I feel fine. And then I look at their labs and I'm like, oh, that's not fine. There's a lot going on that you may or may not feel, which is where I come in to give you those guidance, to tell you well, these are the medical ranges. Here's the functional ranges. You're going to do better over here, and this is how you can get there. And then we follow up to see, did you get there? It's really great, because then you are rewarded with your efforts. And I think when people have to put some effort into something, it means that much more for them. You just have to have your eye on the prize. No matter what it is, there's going to be obstacles that get in the way. It doesn't matter if it's homelessness, bad childhood, no money, no food. It does not matter. Eye on the prize. You just have to go for it, no matter what.
Jessica's ultimate message is one of generational impact, empowering individuals to take control of their health and pass that knowledge forward.
My mission and purpose in life is to improve the quality of life of everybody that I meet, because I believe that everybody deserves the best quality of life. Power for me is never losing sight of your purpose. And for me, like I always say, I am the prize. Like, you have to have your goal. There has to be something you're working for. You just have to keep moving. In order to remain in power, you have to have that purpose and that goal and just stay laser focused. I hope that my contributions to healthcare and wellness and guiding each individual to take control in their own health will affect the generations, because once I teach you how to take care of yourself, then you know how to teach your children how to take care of themselves, and then so forth and so forth. So that way, ultimately, this world can be a healthier place, focusing more on function versus symptom and disease management. I am Jessica Stangenwald. I'm a woman in power because through hardships, I was able to keep my eye on the prize and ultimately become a functional medicine provider, able to offer functional medicine to the world through the Vital Reset.